Hi, everyone. Welcome to COPICafe. This is episode number 46. You've got Rob, Greg, and Josh Jones here.
Hello
This
there.
is where we tell you a little bit about our game, Cornucopias, and what we're building here. A lot of exciting stuff happened. Tons of different kinds of land, NFTs, and ways for you to own assets and participate in the game with us. We are building a racing game that's going to be launching very, very soon, probably in the next 2 months, we hope. And yeah, a lot of fun stuff happening that we want to tell you about. Quick rundown of this episode before we kick it off with what Rob is drinking. The stablecoin DEPEGGED. We're going to talk a little bit about that with USDC. We're going to talk a little bit about Chat GPT4. It was just released yesterday. A development progress update. Our next NFT release. Racing game testing tiers. Questions from the community, and then finally we'll close with a leak that will melt faces.
Ooh.
That's right, the leak that melts faces. Anyway, it's an exciting episode. A lot of good things happening behind the scenes that we can't tell you about right now, unfortunately. It's really, I hate that. There's so much. This morning's conversation, the meeting we had today, this morning, Rob, I am dying to tell people about, but I can't. Oh, well. What are you drinking?
I can't remember. It was such long ago. Well, after last week's meltdown, I'm gonna try and not spill this. I've got a whole 4-pinter of milk.
Yep. All
no
right.
cup, so I'm gonna have a central perk. So
Okay.
So milk today, semi-skimmed milk. I don't know if you call it semi-skim though, do you in America?
I think we could just go by like 2% skim.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a semi-skim.
What are you drinking, Josh? I never remembered.
If you can guess the flavor of fruit, I'll give you a bobblehead.
Oh. Does the flavor of the fruit, is it the same color as one of our bobbleheads?
There's no clue. There's no clues to be given out.
Oh.
I'm not giving away my bobbleheads easily.
Lime juice.
Sorry, but you're not a winner today. Unfortunately. Well, you're a winner in my book. No, don't get me wrong, but it is mango. Mango flavored, some vitamins. It's called a fizz. I think I've had it on show before, but not this flavor.
Vitamin butrin.
It's quite tasty. It's quite tasty. No sugar. All the good stuff. Vitamins, energy, water, fuel. Kind of like you. You're drinking a nice, nutritious milk there. So, okay, here we go. Topic of the day. A lot of people are talking about the USDC getting depegged. And that does not, I guess the main thing I really want to talk about there is it does not affect us at all. Cornucopias, not directly in any way. We didn't have a scenario where we had a huge amount of USDC that we lost 9% on, or whatever the depegged amount is. I don't even, it might have even recovered at this point somewhat. But the more important part of that is that's the link to the traditional banking system. And what happened there was the deposits in USDC, or USDC held a large portion of their capital in Silvergate Bank, I believe, which went under. And thankfully, the FDIC is covering that, but a lot of people are associating that with more money printing that's going to go on, et cetera. We don't really know what's going to happen and how the banks are going to handle this, but we do know that the FDIC is covering that, those funds that were held, but they're not covering investors. And so I guess the crypto market pumped somewhat relating to that on Monday, which is interesting. Did you have anything you wanted to add there, or any thoughts?
No, a lot of acronyms in there. I'm still lost at what depegged means. I need to know where does that phrase come from? Is it like a school thing?
So
that you
depegged
take your
is
coat off?
Yeah, I mean, there's so
I
many
know
things you could learn about in crypto, right?
I know what it means.
So
it drops
for anybody that's watching that doesn't know, a stable coin is meant to be stabilized and pegged to the dollar. So it's meant to not have the standard volatility that you associate with a speculative crypto asset. So it's designed to facilitate DeFi and all sorts of different things within crypto, because the volatility risk is pretty high with unstable or volatile assets. When it becomes depegged is when, for example, you have, so with USDC, they have to have a certain amount of dollars in reserves backing the amount of coins that are in circulation.
Yep.
And so if 3 billion, I believe the number was 3 billion on the Silvergate or something like that. It was around 3 billion. If that's the number that all of a sudden they don't have that 3 billion anymore, if the bank was to get shut down, they don't have that asset. That's why it dropped to 91%, is because that was approximately 3 billion was approximately 9% of the amount of USDC in circulation. So it dropped by that amount. Does that make sense? I think I explained that fairly accurately.
In the old days, the banks always, every time they lent out $1, they had $1 worth, I suppose, of gold so it was always equal. And then some way, I think in the 70s, that's when that got decoupled, didn't it? So this pegging of the USDC, what was that backed with? Was that
okay? So you're talking about fractional reserve banking, which is very similar to what this pegging is.
Yeah.
And in actuality, you make a strong point. If you compare the depegging of USDC to fractional reserve banking and what they've done since COVID, I believe they have removed. It was 10x. So if you put $100,000 into a bank, they could loan out $1 million, right? Well, if that occurred with USDC, you would see it get devalued by 90%, right? But that's what's happening to fiat. But you just don't see that, right? So, and now there's not even a 10x multiple. They can loan out whatever they want now. From what I've read, I need to verify that. But it used to be a fraction, meaning around 1/10 or 10x, with what they could do on the fiat side of things in the U.S. Banks, which is just messed up.
So banks can depeg, they can fail, governments can bail them out. Nothing wrong with the banking system, apparently. But when a stable coin blips a little bit, crypto bad. It depends who's writing the headlines.
Right, how the press plays it. I mean, you look at it, it's like this.
The banks go and didn't the banks then buy this Silicon Valley bank? So suddenly this bad crypto bank has now been bought by a traditional bank. So there's lots of things going on there.
Yeah, there is a lot of things going on there, and I don't fully know how to interpret it, but I do know that there's now more government ownership of public.
I can't figure it out.
More public ownership of banks.
Bitcoin headlines come out that it's bad. The banks buy Bitcoin. Suddenly, Bitcoin's good. Crypto stable coins are bad. They get decoupled. Banks buy them. Then suddenly they're good again. I don't know. It feels like are they really bad?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. The headlines and the stories and the narratives that go around distracting people from what is really true. It's baffling. But yeah, the good news is overall, to sum up that's just a relevant current event that we want to talk about every once in a while and on the show. But to sum that conversation up, Cornucopias is not affected directly, meaning we do not have any funds that were hurt by that. So moving on to the next topic, Chat GPT4. That released yesterday. And I don't know if you've had any time to... I don't even know what GPT stands for. General Processing Technology. Who knows? Generative... Yeah, I don't. Let's not speculate. We don't know the answer. The point is that we need to, be aware of what's happening in AI and just looking at the power of that technology. It affords us some pretty awesome things that we can do in game that we're not going to talk about right now. But we are keeping a very close eye on what's happening with that. The last release, when GPT 3.5 really started taking off recently, I don't think it was a I don't know if it was a release, but it was about 2-3 months ago that
That's
there
when
was
it
a
really
tidal
hit
wave
the
of volume.
headlines.
Huh?
That's when it
Do what?
really hit the headlines.
Yeah, it is. And I think they got like 100 million users in a month,
Yep.
something insane. I think GPT-4 is going to have a similar type of powerful impact because they've got multimodal where you can convert an image into text so it can read the image and then give you a text summary. There's just massive advancements in the amount
Yep.
of text that you can import into the system, and and get a lot longer amount of text that it reads and dictates a response. There's
Yep.
so much you could do with it. There's a demo video out on OpenAI that you could check out, also on YouTube, of GPT-4. So very powerful technology, very scary, the implications though,
Yeah.
as well. I
Definitely.
don't
I
know what
mean,
to do with it.
AI, another acronym, artificial intelligence. We film COPICafe today, obviously, which is a Wednesday. Everybody else will be watching it in the future. Army of Spies, his YouTube channel did a really great episode today on GPT-4. So I would shout out to Army of Spies. I'd recommend going and watching that because it's really good. And his main message was probably a lot of industries are going to change. Some people may lose the job. Who knows? Jobs change. That's
Yeah.
natural. But maybe not what GPT-4 does today. What's GPT-33 going to do? That's probably when we need to think. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous
But I
what's
mean,
coming.
it's science. We start off Bronze Age, Ice Age, Computer Age. Computers change people's lives. Artificial intelligence will change the way we work. It's not necessarily, it might replace some jobs, but then those people can use those tools maybe to either enhance their job or go and find other jobs.
Yeah, it's why a lot of people though are saying there's going to be universal basic income and a need for that because the
It's,
technology is increasing so
yeah, I mean,
massively so quickly.
I mean, there's a lot of FUD, but just because people just don't understand, but change just happens. Change just happens, and
Yeah, it does, but I mean I wouldn't call that FUD necessarily. It's a likely possibility with what AI can do. If it replaces a ton of jobs
yeah,
and those jobs are not, well, okay, if it eliminates a ton of jobs, if it replaces a ton of jobs, well then that's fine. Then you're still at a net neutral.
yeah,
But if it eliminates jobs, then you do have a greater need for universal basic income type of solution. I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm just saying that's a possibility that exists that is kind of scary.
yeah. I mean,
And the
we'd have to look at the use cases, wouldn't we? When we look at, say, diseases 20, 30 years ago, you know, people were dying of stuff that modern science now cures, but people are
Mhm.
still dying and suffering from lots of diseases now. If artificial intelligence can not only diagnose that and give and help you to cure that within minutes, that's a pretty good advance for the humans.
Sure. Absolutely. That's one argument for the good if it
Hmm.
was to really help science and
Yeah, I mean, if it
create the
turns in,
best doctor, the best decision maker. You
yeah,
link that with a machine that's a robot that can perform the
well, yeah.
surgery with per- perfect precision that a doctor that accidentally gets a shake at the wrong moment or something,
And I'm
who knows,
and I'm
but
quite confident that if we do turn on Skynet and Skynet fights back, we'll figure out how to go back in time and reprogram one of those robots and work for us.
all right, moving on. We can't go on too long. We've got development progress updates. So really, honestly, guys, there is a ton happening under the hood. There's not a lot that I get to report on right now, other than we are grinding away at tasks to release our racing game and the website and what needs to be done for the desktop launcher, the player profiles, and things of that nature, reading wallets, reading the assets, the NFTs that are in the wallets. That's nearing completion and being ready for the racing game launch, which is huge. And on the art side, There's just a lot more work that needs to be done, and we're heads down. The team, I'm trying to protect their time as much as possible, but they are moving quickly. Programming is moving along quickly. What is being built is absolutely going to blow you guys away. I can't wait to reveal that.
Yep.
In terms of the entrance to the racing megadome and everything that's going on there that we've seen that they haven't seen. Holy crap. It's amazing. And again, it's being built efficiently, meaning a lot of the stuff that you'll be able to do on the way into the racing megadome is needed for development for Solace. So a lot of this programming gives us an early place to test, improve, etc., that preps us gets us more ready for Solace launch later this year as well, or
Yep.
Solace Esperanza.
I
And
think we can talk a little bit about what's going to be in the front of the racing game, can't we? In that we might have already spoken about it before.
I think we can talk a little bit about it, yeah. But there, in terms of a development update, there's not a whole lot. But yeah, we can talk about what's there.
Yeah, we're going to have. Well, we talked about this morning about a really cool wood chopping game, didn't we? That sounded really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Which,
And that would be a perfect example of something you will do in Solace, exploring around to gather resources, and we'll just turn that into a little mini game on the way into Solace. That's huge.
Yeah,
be a lot of fun.
We talked about fishing. I mean, I don't think it'll.
And
be...
the programming mechanics of that are mostly done too,
Yeah.
with what Declan's been working on. Talked about fishing.
We
yes.
talked about fish. I don't know if you'll be fishing for fish because I don't know how big the area is going to be. I mean, maybe we could put a magnet on it and go fishing for coins. That was suggested.
Yeah, we're not sure what is exactly going to happen. Yeah, yeah. Lots of fun stuff.
We talk about climbing and some other stuff we'll probably leak in the future.
Yep, absolutely. We will. It's coming your way, guys. A lot of stuff in development. Main thing with development is it just takes time and it takes patience, and it's a lot of hard work. Our team is grinding right now.
Yep.
Next up, we had a question from Scruffy. We're going to answer that early in this episode because we were planning to announce this anyway. Wondering about the Bonanza release and that NFT sale.
The OG
current plan
Bonanza, in particular, he was asking about.
Oh, okay, the OG Bonanza. Well, yeah, what we'll do is the OGs will have to sign up for that, and anyone that doesn't sign up and get that NFT would probably not be an OG anymore. So they need to show that they're being active and things of that nature. That's somewhat of a leak, but that's something that the community has been asking us for that. We need to, that's a coveted role. And so we need to protect that. And the people that are in that role, it needs to represent something that's meaningful. That, this is somebody that can assist the newcomer when they come in. And if they're not active, if they haven't shown up in Discord in 4 months, well then, hey. So, but that will happen fairly soon, as well as the actual Bonanza sale is going to be probably around 2 weeks after the launch of the game. So that's about what we know. We know it's going to be after the launch. We want people with existing vehicles to get some time racing and things of that nature. And then we'll introduce that new vehicle at that point, which will be, we have different racing classes. So these vehicles have utility in different classes. That's important for everybody to know.
Breaking news, another message just come in.
Breaking news.
Yeah, another message just coming from Scruffy. When game launch, that's what he wants to know now, if this is 2 weeks later.
When game launch.
We'll answer that next week.
Maybe. Yeah. Coming soon. But yeah, that's about all we could say about the Bonanza. It's coming. We're excited about it. And we've been talking about that. We're planning everything. We've got the racing game tiers. So we do want to talk about how we're going to do the testing tiers, is what I meant. Typically, we'll go through a process where we start off with our team, and then we grow that to possibly include OGs. In NFT holders by rarity, for example. So the mythics would start first, and then we'll move to a larger group and a larger group and a larger group. And then eventually we move to the testing group from the website, where some of you have already signed up. If you go to our website, sign up for the testing group, that'll be the final big group. We want to push some marketing and really build up that group size over time. But yeah, that's kind of the strategy currently, and we'll improve that over time. But that's a big role of Ant, who is our chief quality officer with Cornucopias and one of the co-founders. We'll have to have him on the show one of these days, huh, Rob?
Yep, he's a bit shy. You never know.
We've been trying to talk him into it for a while.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, we just need to give him a little heads up. I think he'll do it. We'll see about that.
I'm sure he's watching and listening.
I am pretty certain of it as well. Okay. So that's the racing game testing tiers. Questions from the community. I believe that's on you today, right? Am I asking you the questions?
Either or, doesn't matter. We can both
Okay.
answer them.
Okay. Let's do this. From Mean Little, will we be able to tweak graphics and stuff to run the game? I often prioritize speed over quality, especially before a tournament starts.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could do that in the mobile game that when we tested that. So, I mean, yeah, 100%, definitely.
Okay, very good. Next question from Recon Monk. Will we have the ability to save a custom dome layout? Example, can I build, number 1, a training academy, number 2, a racetrack, and number 3, a PvP arena, and have them saved, then swap from one to the other as I need them?
I think 3 great use cases for the custom dome there. So the custom dome will definitely be in the same state as you leave it. So swapping different states in and out is something that we just haven't planned at the moment. We'd have to look on the roadmap, and if it's not there, we should definitely include it.
Yeah, I mean, we need to talk to our dev team and see what that looks like. It seems to be fairly simple, but you never know.
Yeah.
And so we'll look into that. I think it's great. It'd be great to be able to have multi-purpose or something of that effect with your.
I'm sure they have it
dome
covered, but I don't think we've ever spoken about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. If not, you just have to get another dome. Who knows? We'll see. Or it could just be something in development. Yeah. Next question, Chris in Beck. I have a question. What kind of fertilizers are going to be required to level up the grade of soils?
Upgrade fertilizers. Can you tell? I don't have the answer to
that. Okay. The second question is, what different kinds of crops are we planning on, and will they only be available through merchants, or can any be found in the wild?
Yeah. So, I mean, the analysis team, we haven't looked at the crops actually for a few months, but the last bit of work that was done in that area, I know we had over 100 different crops and how they were going to use on a food chain and go through. What's going to be on the MVP? I don't know. It might just be corn, just to start off with, but then it'll grow itself out. But we'll be looking at crops, obviously, for biofuel. We will be looking at them for basic sandwiches or raw food, and they will build up to full-on meals. I think today we were talking of some of the meals we were talking about today. I think that we're talking about Michelin star meals. So I mean, yeah, we will start off basic, and as development goes on, we'll be moving up to Michelin star meals and restaurants, and yeah, so everything's on the table.
Okay, all right, I like it. And you know what? There is so much planning going into every element of this game. A lot of the times we talk about things that might be further down the line on the roadmap, and there's a lot of details that need to occur in the very beginning. So the way we look at this is, what's the minimum that we're going to accept as necessary for the release of Solace, for you to run around and play in Solace? What's the minimum that we're going to accept that you'll be able to do when you come into the Racing Megadome? And then we go from there. And then from there, we take our vision, which is the full scope of everything, and we build it out piece by piece And we also, the beauty of that is that's lean startup methodology. It allows us to get feedback from you guys as well that might change some of our vision.
The minimum, I mean, it sounds harsh. It sounds like we're doing the absolute minimum we can do. But what we mean is, what's the minimum of that entire process? So it's what's the seeds, what's the soil like, what's the growing process like, what's the harvesting like, what's the then producing that into food. There's lots of barriers that you have to get through there, lots and lots of stages. And then when that's in place, then adding other crops, that is actually then quite easy to add those on. So it's quite hard to get to the MVP, to the minimum viable product, but then you have really quick progress as we add on more and more crops and different types of fruit and other objects that can be harvested.
Yeah. Completely agree. And also another part of the minimum, it doesn't sound, it sounds a little, it's actually a positive, because if we launch with the minimum, we get feedback from the community.
Definitely.
And we get an idea of what you guys are desiring. And that allows a more collective voice to be heard in the development process moving forward. So it's actually a very powerful approach. And it's very common in startup as well. So it's a proven method.
Look at what we did for the racing game in Vegas. We had tons and tons of feedback from that. And that's now enhanced. Next time you see that game, it will perform differently. It will save differently. And it's all thanks to that quick weekend. Yeah,
absolutely. Great point. Great. That was a lot of fun too.
Yep.
So we're going to have fun with the feedback and refinement. We all will. I can't wait to be playing soon on COPICafe.
Soon.
All right. We are at the leak stage of this episode of COPICafe. Here we go. You ready? Is everybody ready?
Can I just say hello to Stein? Because I know Stein only comes to this part first and then he rewinds. So I'm sure he's not the only person who does that. So hello, Stein. It won't be long before you can watch this.
Straight to the leak. There we go. Okay. So what is this?
Rob, we had a similar image to this, didn't we? A few weeks ago. But this is actually a different vehicle.
It is.
This is the back end.
This is the T1. Oh, I just realized I almost forgot something. This is a special leak. You don't even know about this leak, Rob.
No.
Whoever is the first to guess my T-shirt in the comments, the name of this T-shirt, what this is going to win an NFT.
Didn't you just say what it is?
The name of this T-shirt?
Oh, the T-shirt.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
First to guess this. Don't give it away, Rob. Don't give it away. The first to... Huh? You can't be the one to guess and get the NFT.
I'll just write first.
Okay. No, but that T-shirt, if you can name the shirt, the first to guess that in the comments is going to get a pretty rare NFT. And it's not a Cornucopias NFT, but they'll get a rare NFT based upon that guess.
And it's
all right,
not, it's not Captain America.
No, it is not. That is correct. So there you go. Rob has eliminated one of many trillion options there.
And if you can guess what mine is, then you can have my T-shirt as well.
Okay. So my promise is real. Rob's is not. This is the T1. And why do we call it the leak that will melt faces? Well, because I guess we're staring at the jet engines that would possibly melt your face should this be on. This is an upgrade system for the T1 vehicle. Pretty amazing.
Oh, I see.
I cannot wait to drive it.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's normally your ballpark. Punny type jokes. All right. Yeah. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Enjoyed this episode. I know we went on industry topics for a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you didn't, let us know. We'll try to be more succinct in the future, but I think this was pretty short and sweet. We're right around 30 minutes for this episode.
Yeah, but we'll chop 10 minutes out, so don't worry.
All right. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on the next episode of COPICafe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.